We are live with the House Divided podcast, episode 6, week 4. Football is here.
It's here, baby.
For two of us, it's been the most average season you can possibly have up to this point. And for one of us,
it's been good, you know.
One might say shocking.
I wouldn't say shocking. I would definitely say good. I'm a Bears fan, by the way. For those just tuning in,
I would assume that our viewers would know.
Most do, but in case there's a rogue one or two,
people that are stupid.
Okay. So yeah,
that person just left. It's fine.
It's funny because this season, where I was really expecting the Bears' offense to pick up the slack, it's actually the Bears' defense that took a massive step up this season.
I feel the exact. This is exactly what I would have expected from you guys because your offense is horrible, and I've been saying your offense is horrible since you drafted Truby Tuesday.
Well, but to that defense. So I mean, like, last year we didn't have any receivers, and now we have all these names. And it's funny how we're not producing that much more.
Well, that's the thing is, like, you guys are still scoring the same amount, which means you have to look at the one factor that is.
No, and it's definitely the quarterback, and I think it's really obvious that it's all based on like Trubisky and the way he's feeling, and like you can just sense it in the game, like when the pressure's on him. It's just and he's composed. I think you and I talked about this
like on Sunday when it's like, oh look, Patrick Mahomes set the record for the most touchdowns in the first 3 games. Bears took Trubisky before Patrick Mahomes. Whoops,
yeah,
you know, like
it's like, honestly, I mean, could you imagine? I'm sure there's already people out there
frightened of the Bears.
Yeah,
I talked to.
Yeah, you were the only.
I talked to, I think, you about that.
Yeah, you're the only
this
smart
draft
one.
even, where I was like, Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback I'd be like scared of your guys' future. Not that Troopy wouldn't work out. Just that's the one guy in my opinion where I was like, Bears get him. Oh no.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean. Yeah,
that
like
Troopy can't develop yet, but
right. Yeah, I still have some faith in him.
I would say that the faith needs to be gone by the end of this year. And
definitely.
Because like your defense, like I think I said this last week or something. Like you guys are where the Vikings were 3-4 years ago, where you have a good running game,
good defense,
you even have good wide receivers, and you have a good defense that's on the way up. And the only thing holding the team back is the quarterback. So you guys need to. You can go find you a Teddy Bridgewater in the draft, or go sign a Case Keenum, a Kirk Cousins, someone like that.
The Vikings approaches draft.
Exactly.
I was honestly like
the only 2 things that you can do.
This is a time where I was actually wishing it, actually nearly praying that we had like a veteran quarterback helming the offense right now, because I feel like with our talent on offense and a veteran quarterback, just to make that one or 2 better decisions throughout the game, I feel like gets us that extra touchdown and field goal that we need to like really set ourselves apart.
Honestly, the thing that you guys should have done the offseason should have just been like, hey, Case Keenum, you're a quarterback now, and your team would be terrifying. I'd be worried. If I was any other fan.
I was gonna say there's like actually a list of quarterbacks where it's like, if you thought about it right now with the team, you're like, man, they'd definitely be producing a lot if they had X instead of Trubisky.
No, I at this point you can essentially say almost anyone except for like Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Like even mouth breather Eli could get you one more field goal.
Honestly,
no, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with your guys' O-line, I'm the one down on Eli all the time, and then that offense.
Yeah, it's just it's something. Just
Tyrod
something.
Taylor, even.
Something's not quite clicking.
I mean, he's concussed, and Hugh Jackson.
What was the value, right?
I mean, it might. Hugh Jackson, I don't think he's going to get rid of him. I think there's a good chance that Hugh Jackson
for sure.
makes Tyrod the starter
I
anyway.
think so.
Like
I think so.
He's a bad coach. Sorry, Hugh.
Sorry.
Shit. Let's look at week 3. recap what
in
happened.
Can I say that also?
Insane start to the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this is so untypical for the NFL. I just feel like we're living in opposite world where so many things are going like so many different directions that we thought they were going to, like via certain teams that really where you're like they're 2-1, they're 3-0, said what? Or
Well,
like when you
it's
think of the
the-
Patriots like just losing to the Lions, like that's one that really stuck out from this last
Well,
week to me.
It's the young coach, the new coaches, and more importantly, it's like these new quarterbacks, this new generation of athletic quarterbacks is just fucking the league up. Like, yeah,
We've kind of needed a new generation. I mean, sorry to see like Eli and Phil, the faces that we'll be seeing. For
I feel like
15
the
years.
first string was like Kaepernick and Russell Wilson. That's like when we really started to
Yeah,
see
yeah, exactly.
the emergence of the
Pat White was the originator, and then he got folded up like an accordion on the sideline by Ike Taylor, and that was the end of that. You guys remember the Dolphins Wildcat
I was just about to
days?
say that was the Dolphins guy,
Yeah, that
right?
was when they brought the Wildcat back
Good for
for
the
a
one
season.
that 1 year
And then-
in Madden where it was like you couldn't stop them.
And
yeah.
then Pat White
Got folded.
Johnny Knox, essentially. R.I.P.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
game of the week.
hard RIP for Johnny now.
Speaking of new age quarterbacks, we had the Jets at Browns last Thursday, almost a week ago already, and man, the first half didn't look good, and I was saying it that they needed to switch and put Baker in at halftime. Just so happened that Tyrod got hurt the series before halftime.
Right.
I think it
And
would have happened anyways,
yeah.
but for sure.
It would
but
have been tough to not have the Browns boo them off, like the Brown fans boo them off the field if they didn't. But we saw the birth of the next 12 years, 15 years after Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. Legend of Brett Favre was born. Maybe every 26 years on that day, great quarterback
Yeah.
being born. I think you
Yeah,
said
we
that.
were saying that, and then we were also joking that year would just happen to be like a leap year, so it'd be off by a day. So it'd actually be like Monday Night Football, and we would have thought the next dynasty would have been born on a Sunday night, so we would have put all of our money on Dude, but it would have been the Monday night guy. We went really far into this theory, people.
We always get
we
fucked in our theories.
have a
but-
lot of time. A lot of time.
I mean, we're doing this
No
podcast.
girlfriends and all the time.
Can't you tell?
Can't It's like, yeah. Just
Self-deprecating humor. Let's go. But hey, I mean, I watched all of the Brown, like that entire game.
It was a really good game.
Bro, Baker has a hose.
honestly,
of an arm, dude.
honestly, the whole second half, I was just looking for the play to be like, see, he's not everything he's meant
No,
to be.
and you're like, oh.
And the whole second half happened, and I was like,
And you're like, shit, the Bears need to win a lot.
yeah.
Why do you
Well-
why do you think I put the Browns in the playoffs?
Well, that put.
folks?
I was gonna say that now the Browns are 1-2, so I'm
They're
glad.
1-1-1.
1-1-1.
Or they're 1-1-1. That's right. I forgot they got the draw. I forgot every week this season is a freaking draw now for some reason. It's high. Yeah, but in my head though, I still like the Bears' position. I feel like from here, hopefully momentum. But at the same time, the Browns have the same amount of momentum really with Baker coming out. So
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I would say the Browns probably have more momentum because they weren't they hadn't won a game.
yeah,
You know, so like they go out and tie the Steelers the first weekend. Basically, they lost because of field goal kicking, or they tied because of field goal kicking. Week 2, they go out and should beat the Saints. They missed 4 field goals that game, and then they go out and beat the Jets, where they would have destroyed the Jets had Baker played the whole
Well, yeah,
the whole game.
seeing the Browns' defense and where it's at, and now
I would say it's probably I think they're second in takeaways.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think it might be better than the Bears or just as good as the Bears defense.
no,
be.
seriously.
They're
Miles
1 and
Garrett,
2.
Khalil Mack, they do the same shit.
No, it's honestly like, and when I watch a game, I literally had that exact same
You guys
sense.
just can't intercept the ball as well as the Browns can right now. Just
Yeah.
because Fuller's the worst player in the league. Die. Just go away and die.
Yeah,
I hate the Bears, but I don't like seeing this man suffer from you losing games.
Week after week, I see Calvin
Every
come home
fucking
crying.
week.
Just
Like, I was telling them about the Russell Wilson pass to, I forget who it was, but it was, I flip on the TV coming home from work, you know, in week 2 against the Seahawks, and that's the first thing I see is that big bomb, and I was like, and sure as hell, who is it on? Kyle Fuller. And then when I went and watched the replay, I was like, it was perfect coverage, though. It really was perfect coverage, but
that's the difference between elite cornerbacks and good cornerbacks. Good cornerbacks can have perfect coverage. Elite will still find a way to get their hand in on the great passes.
yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
No, exactly. And honestly, I had that same thought too. But
Well, and like the main issue with Fuller, he doesn't turn his fucking head.
no, and that's literally what it is. And I think it was Enders, you pointed it out or whatever. And that's why they keep going to that spot.
throw it over the top.
Yeah, they literally just drop it in.
Because they just know that
There's nothing that he can do about it,
because he recognizes it a little too late.
Well, I think.
But I will say, the way Chris Conte got lit up by dude with that stiff arm, I was like, thank God we got rid. And then I find out Chris Conte is an 8-year veteran. Not to sound retarded within the football world, but I was like, and yet to this day, he plays like a goddamn rookie. And the announcers were just praising him even after the stiff arm. We're like, he's been a real leader of this Buccaneers defense.
He's had a good year so far.
Has he?
Yeah. Like other than
that play.
But like, I mean, people get stiff armed.
Yeah,
you know, like,
And
but it
he's
was just
little
a
guy.
mat where it was just like, why wouldn't you just throw your body weight to push him out? Why would you like go for like just the force of your
Lynch
arm?
ran through an entire defense by himself,
No,
and no one's like, oh nope, they're the worst defense in the league.
no, it was just
No,
like he was running down the sideline and Chris Conte
I know,
goes to like
I saw
push
the
him out
play.
and then he like lets up off of him and the second he let up it was like, why are you letting up?
Because he was getting held. Like dude
No,
had
no,
his
it was
hand in
like
his
it was
face
like
mask.
he's like going in for the kill and then he like raises up instead of going for the kill and it's
Probably
like
thought the dude was gonna go out of bounds, and if you light someone up on the sideline, even if they're in bounds, you get unnecessary roughness.
yeah, but just the way it was though, like the timing, it still would have been perfect, and just the fact that he let up at the last second, I was like, oh, that's why you got lit up because you decided to give pressure off instead of just follow through.
I mean, I assume he probably just thought he was gonna run. And you can't hit wide receivers when they're trying to run out of bounds. Yeah,
Fuck,
like
they're
like
doing
you.
it.
Yeah, I'll give him
You
credit for
can't.
that, where he's just kind of a deer, where they're kind of, I shouldn't say they're just kind of a deer in the headlights as far as what they're able to do.
Or he probably lit up because he probably thought the dude might like be back on him too. Because if you're full sprint and then you get juked, it's even more embarrassing than getting stiff.
Was a ginormous stiff arm to the
It was a good stiff arm. Like the whole thing with stiff arms,
The
though, is like
bear
once you
paw.
get that initial contact and you get the person to back up, they're going to the ground. The only thing you can hope to do is grab their arm and pull them down with. He was too strong for that. You couldn't. He tried.
I forget who it was. It was some ginormous tight
Yeah,
end.
I think he's a rookie. He's a young. Whatever the hell.
Oh, Vance McDonald.
Yes.
Kind of back
Oh,
in
yeah,
the day.
he
They
was
had
a rookie.
a
Yeah, you're
3
right.
tight end set. Just to keep that one.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a Browns fan, good times are here.
5 years they've like a little.
I think. I mean, they have a lot of hope. They're gonna be good. Like the Steelers look horrible, and like that division is up for grabs. The Browns could easily win that division. You
Makes
know?
me kind of upset, like seeing how butter smooth Baker was in that second half as opposed to like Trubisky's overall cadence. Because like Trubisky has good cadence, and then I saw Baker Mayfield and I was like, that guy literally has like not a care on earth.
Like how he's directing traffic when
He
he,
was-
just
he
came
was
out as a
he was
like
audible.
yeah, and the fact-
and he's like no guy over here. It's just
and literally, yeah, the fact
Picking
that
up
that's his
blitzes
first
and
half
shit, like-
in,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
professional football, and Trubisky's had more than obviously a handful of games to like prove
Yeah, he
himself.
had almost a whole year. at
Well,
this
he
point,
has,
yeah.
basically had a whole year, and it's just like, God, Baker literally impressed me more in a single half than Trubisky has in a year
Yeah.
and 3 games. It's like, son of a bitch.
No, if I'm Browns fan now.
Yeah,
woo,
no,
good.
Browns
Yeah.
fans, you're in for good times.
Right?
I just still hope that the
I
Bears
mean,
obviously have more
you
wins
gotta
for my
think that
bet's sake.
everyone in that division is getting old. Like the Steelers are old as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's old.
I literally
Like,
had this thought the other day where it's like,
And the
if
Bengals
Baker
are
pans out,
average.
Yeah,
We're
like they're
talking-
like the second youngest.
Yeah, no, like the Browns are gonna be the force in that division.
That's-
for
that's what I was just about to say. That yeah, for the next like easily 4 to 6 to 8 years, depending on how everything pans out for them.
Definitely.
Like, and yeah, like when you're looking at it, it's like the Patriots, they're kind of dying out. The Steelers, they're kind of, it's like dying out is a matter of time. Like Tom Brady fans, I'm sorry, but it's like you only got so
well, I
much
mean,
time
look at his
left.
last 2 weeks. He's not played well.
And yeah, and
Like
and lost to the Lions. What was that? 26-10, I think was the final score of the
Tom
Patriots
Brady, I
Lions.
believe, only had it. It was
26-10?
26-10.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady only had
No,
I
and
think
yeah,
it was 130 or 150.
but just like seeing the way that the Lions are,
133 yards.
Wow.
14 of 26, one
Folks.
touchdown, one pick,
folks at home, do you hear that?
and a QBR, the horrible
33?
stat of 38.
QB
Wait a
level.
second. Wow. I'm the dumbest man on earth. I did not realize that it's dude from Patriots head coaching the Lions going
Mhm.
against his own
Yeah,
team again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of just dawned on me, and I will say that kind of gives them a little bit of an edge when you know they're
But what about the week before when the Jaguars,
lit them up.
like Blake Bortles scored 4 touchdowns? Like,
Yeah. No, and
without Leonard Fournette.
yeah, I won't say like it's completely, but I'm saying 10 points. How many games in the history of Tom Brady's career has he had 10 points or less? I'm willing to bet it's 5 or less. And even saying 5 to me seems like out of this world.
Definitely less than 10.
Like that to me
I-
just seems
I-
like I can't even
Where's
think
our
about
stat
that.
guy?
Yeah,
No,
right.
like
God damn
seriously,
it.
ESPN stats, because like 10 points, a single touchdown, and a field goal by the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Maybe
mean,
he's not the GOAT.
To be
Just
fair,
after week 3, maybe he's not. Bill Burr was talking about that. He's like, "Oh, you fucking non-Patriots fans, hit the fucking alarms. This happened with us last year too, and the year before that, we started out shaky and rocky. And where did we end up? Back in the Super Bowl." And I was like, "Yeah, Bill Burr,
That's
you're
true.
right. You're
No,
right."
I mean, yeah.
that gamble of Josh
We lost to
Gordon
Kansas
pays
City.
off too.
But yeah, I mean, the whole issue is that at least like last year they lost to, like the Chiefs, who were a good team. You know, they lost to the Lions and the Jaguars, who I don't think either are good. The Jaguars just scored 6 points in a football game and lost. Like they gave.
I
up-
did
they
think that was crazy when I looked at that, and I was like, "What was the final
Final
score
score
again?
was
6
9
and
to
6? Yeah,
9 to 6.
Yeah.
Who did they play?
Dude,
Titans. The
The
Titans beat the
Titans.
Jaguars 9-6.
no, I was literally saying that like, hands down, one of the most boring games. Besides that one game where it was like, what was it last year? I think it was Seahawks Browns who tied at like 6-6 or 3-3 or something like that, and it was just like, what in overtime? Where it's like they had an extra quarter of nothing.
Change pace here from the most boring game of the week to the most exciting game of the week. New Orleans, Atlanta, barn burner.
Holy
Jeez.
shit.
You
Yeah.
you guys want to talk about what football is supposed to be?
Oh my
That's it.
god.
Guess who's real glad they got drafted?
I mean, I knew.
That
Yeah, I
was
mean,
holy hell.
yeah. There's no. Yeah, Michael. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's so rare for NFL games to literally score 80 points or more collectively. And when it does, though,
43-37 in overtime.
when are those games are amazing. I mean, watching that and watching it in overtime, and it was at Falcons.
Yeah.
That's what was the craziest part about it.
Atlanta doesn't have a really good home field advantage.
I wouldn't say
I
that.
think they used
They
to.
used
that was,
to, but
it
that was before the new stadium.
I was gonna say, and it was they found out they were funneling in
Extra noise.
crowd
yeah.
music through the speaker.
Yep.
Yeah. No, when that happened, it was
I think
like,
they got a
oh,
huge
Bill
fine
Burr.
for that.
Yeah,
Yes, they
Bill
did,
Burr.
yep.
Bill Burr came on and was like, "You punks," just like freaking out about it. Like,
San Fran at Kansas City. Dude. Patrick Mahomes, I'm on the bus.
I thought he was gonna be good. I didn't think he was gonna be like. Honestly, I thought he was gonna be a great
You didn't
quarterback.
think he was
going to
win the MVP
but
this year?
I didn't think it was gonna be like when I saw they decided to make him the starter this year. I was like, I think he's gonna have one rocky year and then be good. And he just shot me in the face.
And probably gonna win the MVP this year.
Yep.
Because like, there's no one even close. I think Drew Brees is the only other person that's not even relatively close. Doesn't have fucking like, I think he has like
he has
8
one
touchdowns.
vote, and
Yeah.
the Patty Mahomes is the rest.
And hey, my MVP candidate, Jimmy G. Jesus
Honestly,
Christ.
the second that happened, I literally just instantly thought of you and you alone. I was like, rest in peace. And it was funny because I said to Eagle, I was like, oh, he says he's better than Tom Brady. I don't ever really recall Tom Brady going up for an entire season because of an injury. And Eagle's like, didn't that just happen actually, like within the last 10 years? And I was like, actually, I was like thinking about it. I actually do remember like a season opener against somebody, and Tom Brady did go out for the entire season.
They made a whole rule about like that's why you can't hit quarterbacks low. That's literally why, because someone dove low on Tom Brady and tore his ACL.
Somebody dives low on Tom Brady, tears his ACL. Fucking new rule. Somebody goes fucking a little bit late on Aaron Rodgers.
Someone lands on Aaron Rodgers. New rule.
No rule.
And the two of the goats out of the 3 essentially.
Yeah. And
New
you know
rules.
what? Only one of them complains about when their rule gets called on their team. Tom Brady doesn't complain when someone gets called for roughing the passer or when going low. Aaron Rodgers can complain every fucking week.
Fair. Tom Brady also has never.
That's fair. But see, the thing is though, is that Tom Brady
He didn't
also
publicly go onto a forum.
Tom Brady just stays quiet
Tom
because he's
Brady,
like,
well, he also didn't call the play that hurt him dirty.
Whatever the organization wants to do. You see in his eyes. You know what? Every time he goes into the mic, you know, whatever my team, whatever Patriots think is best.
We're
Just looking into the camera.
We're gonna stay in the Bay Area here, folks. Oakland at Miami. Not really the Bay Area, going to the Gulf, but same Bay team. I mean, I said it before the year started. You guys are gonna be a bad football team.
What was the final?
28-20 Dolphins.
I always feel so bad because it's always closer than I think it's gonna be, for Raiders' sake. But they still.
Wait, let me get this straight. That puts the Dolphin at 3-0,
Correct.
and puts the Raider at 0-3.
Correct.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, I would have put $1 billion that it would be the exact reverse. And that's why the NFL is crazy, because anytime you think of something like that, oh, Gruden on the Raiders? Are you kidding me? It's good. The Dolphin, they're fizzling.
I didn't have faith in the Dolphins, but I had the same amount of faith in the Raiders. I knew they were going to be bad. I did not know the Dolphins were going to be good, but the Raiders fucking suck. John Gruden, you're a bad coach. You trade your best player away. And then every week since then, you're like, man, we really need a pass rush.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, what do you mean?
I was loving Joe.
You had the best one.
Joe Buck talking to Colin about it was the greatest thing ever. And not only that, but they were almost like coming out live. We're like, yeah, he's too comfortable. I mean, when you watch football for 10 years like that, and then you're trying to go back to being a coach, it just doesn't really work out. Like they were kind of going, he had it good, being an announcer. They were going back and forth about mouth.
I'm so angry. Why? Like how?
He knows he has time, and to make it all happen year one, he realizes was not at all in the spectrum of things, and that's why he's like cashing out. He's flexing. That's all John Gruden is doing. He's just like, flexing.
Flexing for the sake of flexing, stupid as fuck.
He's saying, I got $100 million, all of Raider Nation. I could lead them into a volcano of boiling lava about to erupt and jump headfirst in, and they will follow me because I'm John Gruden.
I don't think so.
Because I'm John Gruden. I think so.
I think he has one more loss under him before people start booing. Especially with this being their last year in Oakland.
I feel like
you're gonna leave Oakland, a 1-15 team, and then go to Vegas.
But
without a
isn't
marquee
that
player?
isn't that perfect though? Isn't that perfect though? To lose out in the city where your team is literally dying, and now to be re-sparked in a new city, and the next season to go 15-1 in Smash.
I mean, or you could have just kept Khalil Mack and made the playoffs
Let's
this year.
I'm gonna make a bold next year prediction. The Raiders will do fantastic. Go on, Anderson.
I was gonna say the point with that though, they didn't have the money. Like there's
Well,
literally no option in the world where they would have had the money, right?
No, they would have in 2 weeks when they all get paid from the TV deal. He would. Well, I mean,
2 weeks.
Who gives a shit? He would have just sat Le'Veon Bell sitting out. He just would have sat out, and then they would have paid him, and then he would play. So.
I mean, but there's a different scenario where he just says screw it and just waits. Right now, where he just essentially is like,
but the Raiders would have had every intention of re-signing him once they got the money. And honestly, we can just talk about the Davis family should not be owning a franchise if they can't afford to pay their players.
Well, and the point I'm making is I wouldn't even put it on Gruden at this point.
No,
he's the one that made the decision, but like he's not the one that mishandled the money before he got there.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think the people that are like
He's
roasting
pending to a
Gruden for like the Khalil thing at least is like a little bit like it's not all his fault. That's definitely not all on him.
He's the face of the franchise.
Yes, yeah.
So he's gonna get the backlash.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think the fans there have to understand that there's a reason he got a 10-year. Gonna be a little bit.
Yeah. But
where they thought they had a competitive roster, but like, did they? Because Derek's throwing really bad timed interceptions.
No, he's
Take out Khalil, their defense is in shambles.
Right, like everyone's like, well, like their defense is still really bad with Khalil. It's like their defense is the worst in the NFL without Khalil. So like, yo, man, being the 20th worst defense in football to the 31st or 32nd, that's a big fucking jump. And then to go see the Bears be a good team because of Khalil Mack is crazy.
I mean, like
and then to complain that you don't have pass rush.
Dude,
no, that's the part that boggles me.
Are you kidding?
But maybe even maybe that's him looking at the person who is it like
The GM.
Hey,
well, but like,
would have been nice to have the money for that pass rusher.
I don't even think it'd be on. I don't even think it's on the GM. It's like
whoever handles the money.
Well, it's the owner. Yeah. It's the owner. It's the Davis family. And I get it. Al Davis. It's blood. It's Raider Nation. Blah blah. Like I don't care if it comes down to you losing the best defensive player in football, second best defensive player in football, because you didn't have the money to give him, that shouldn't happen for a professional franchise. That's the only time I've ever heard of that happening before. That doesn't happen in basketball. And they pay these motherfuckers $250 million fully guaranteed over like 4 years. And the owners are like, yeah, here you go. And they make significantly less money than the people in football do. Fuck you.
Right, good
Fuck
riff.
you, Raiders. Yeah, fuck this game. Buffalo at Minnesota.
I'm sorry, Dan, and honestly, it's I chalk it up to like what we were saying before, where they know they have an extremely hard opponent after. They were passing up the Bills in their head like they're just gonna be a bye.
Yeah, it was. They thought it was a layup.
It's the birth of another new quarterback.
You guys, our teams are alike. Always have one dud. Like pre-week 8, we just lay one egg.
And it's fine. Like
it's always the craziest scenario. Like 3 years ago when you guys lost to the Titans by like 30 points, and it was like,
what?
What about who?
I wouldn't take. I would take this game with a grain of salt. Like it's nothing.
Yeah,
that won't happen again. The Bills are gonna go back to being really bad.
The learning experience.
The Vikings are probably gonna win tomorrow against the second best team in football.
Honestly,
so like.
There's really no realistic reason why our podcast is going to be popular. And I'll tell you why right now. It's because we're all too level-minded. With the way our team...
I just said to a whole franchise fan base to go fuck yourself.
Probably not the best time
right,
to
but rightfully
that we're
so.
all level-minded.
Right, but rightfully so. No, and I'll explain a little bit more in depth.
He's being headhunted
because
by a dude that looks like a ghost.
We need to be more singular, one narrow-minded direction, just see one path, because realistically, with us thinking of our teams and thinking of the flexibility of them, we're almost giving ourselves a little bit too much credit as far as like, we're the best, we're the greatest ever, and nothing can stop us, and we might not be doing well right now. But
I mean, I still think the Vikings are winning the Super Bowl this year, and that's take that to the fucking bank, motherfuckers.
And you know what's funny? It's like
Hashing
when I think, it's funny because it's like, I think of this week where Bears are number one in the division. I think of next week when we play the Buccaneers. I think it again, just like every week where it's been close. I think we win barely. I think we're gonna I'm gonna put my number on this. We're gonna win 24 to like 21 or 24 to 17, roughly in that area this week.
So we'll get into this later, but you think the Bears can put 24 points up?
Actually, just about to say that.
I'm saying
that seems like a
I'm
stretch.
saying, and honestly, it is kind of a stretch. But I'm thinking this is the week where like things for Trubisky, like I'm not saying pressure wise, but like it's almost expected for stuff in week 4, 5, halfway through the season for things to start kind of clicking. So I'm really hoping for a breakout here.
We've been waiting for a breakout from this kid for the last year,
and nobody's been waiting more than me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really hope that it does.
I mean, all the pressure is on him.
But just to say, like, you only have to score 24 points because you know your defense is going to hold any team in the NFL to essentially 23 points or less. Basically.
Okay.
I mean,
like,
Aaron Rodgers, and I base that literally on Aaron Rodgers, one of the GOAT quarterbacks of all time. Week 1, 24 points.
I mean, you heard him though. Like he got hurt.
Yeah, and he got injured, right?
But you heard him. Just
And in the end, still lost. You know.
Well, and not only that, but like when he was injured, he wasn't injured for that long. But it was long enough for us to should have capitalized on those turnovers by DeShone Kizer.
I mean, you did. You guys scored
points.
10 points. You guys went from a 10-point lead to a 20-point lead.
Not enough because we
and
didn't win the effing game, and then we scored singular field goal from then on. Anyways, we'll get rid of week 1. I don't want to think.
No, I mean, I really think once you go against like a good passing attack, like even like the Vikings passing attack, your corners aren't good enough to stop anybody.
That's my
and like even
that's
like
my
a
fear
healthy,
for the Buccaneers. Like if a team has like a decent offensive line, decent hold up a little bit, you got some monsters. But if they can hold up their one-on-ones a little bit, and they can abuse like the passing over the top, like that's the one. Like I think.
We gotta
stop
this.
Yep.
We will go into this when we get into week 4. We gotta power through week 3 first. Colts at Philly. Welcome back, Carson Wentz.
But still,
almost lost.
Good fault battle though. I will say that. Watching that game, I really had some really high respect for Andrew Luck.
Seemed like there's a little bit something with the arm still, because I was just looking at the numbers up.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's his.
I don't know if it's
his arm. I think it's probably the play calling.
I mean,
not only that, it's literally, and I don't want to keep going back to Trubisky, but it's literally the same thing where it's like when you look at Trubisky's numbers, like completion percentage wise, it's amazing. When you go back and look at like this last game, he was something like 26 of like 32 or something like that, where it's like, that's actually incredible. But at the end of the day, it's not, because 99% of those are dump short behind the line of scrimmage.
But that's
dump short at the line.
That's not what Andrew Luck did before he got hurt.
And I was gonna say too.
He aired it out.
The one play that they needed to go down the field for the Colts.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's
the one Hail Mary play, which Luck said after the play, he does have the better arm. So it's like,
which doesn't make sense because Andrew Luck was like the caveman arm strength.
I've seen
of
his shoulder. So there's something there. It's not 100 yet. Well, whatever. Get to 100. That's like that's like sad to me. Like if
I was
it doesn't,
say that because like that was his one strong suit. Is like, but man, that guy's got a cannon.
Yeah, he had velocity.
That guy's got a cannon.
I mean, coming out of college, he was the best prospect since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, exactly.
I always look back at that year.
Ridiculous.
That was such a revolutionary draft. Russell Wilson, Robert Griffin III, and Andrew Luck.
RG. And Kirk,
I still,
and Kirk Cousins.
I still like RG3 to this day.
Kirk Cousins was drafted then too.
Oh wow,
The Redskins drafted
third
both
round?
RG3 and Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of RG3 and Kirk Cousins, Green Bay at Washington. Segway. Hey.
Yeah, right.
It was not a good looking game
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
Packer Nation.
I'll chalk it up to what the like. We
yeah,
didn't
I
cover
think
the Vikings
hopefully,
too long.
hopefully that's our dud for the year.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
And honestly, it wasn't that bad of a dud. You guys, with a couple less penalties, a couple less drop passes, you guys win that game. So that's nothing.
I don't even
chalk that away.
I don't even. For me, it didn't even come down to that. It came down to you guys couldn't stop the run.
Just
That
like
too, yeah.
just like I will.
Adrian Peterson.
Like for some
was
reason,
like-
Adrian Peterson's your kryptonite.
Dude, seriously, we've been doing so good
It's
against the
3
run
times,
for the
10
first two
You
games.
faced him like 20 or 22 times.
And the guy that we've seen the most just running over
like
us,
Clay
running
Matthews,
through
you've been in
us.
the league just as long as him. I'm pretty sure. Were they drafted the same year or very similar?
Very soon. Clay was 2010.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I don't know when Peterson.
Like 08 or
Yeah, I
08.
was
Wait,
gonna say I think
really?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first year Matthews was in.
Yeah, we went to the Super Bowl with him as a rookie. Yep. Because he was
What
a bowling ball.
I was gonna
his
say
first
one
two
of the
years.
before
amazing
you
rookies.
got
Yeah,
hot.
because he was still on roids. So, yeah.
I mean, the testing has gotten a little bit stricter the last couple
That's what
of
I'm
years
saying.
here.
And he failed a couple, stopped using, and all of a sudden, oh, massive drop off, and the contract too.
I don't think
Coincidence,
I don't
but
think
also-
I don't think he ever failed anything.
No, I don't think so.
Either I couldn't. I
fact
couldn't.
check
Yeah,
it,
let's
yeah.
let's
wrong,
fact
but
check. I
feel-
don't.
I only want to say this because I feel like I heard Packer fans, but then again,
Ryan,
like we
Braun
know,
failed
Packer
again.
fans have not been known to be the smartest people as far as knowledge about football.
The Clay Matthews failed test.
About this,
They were like named to maybe him and Julius Peppers.
They,
Yes.
Six,
they
where
were
they
named
were
on
on like a
2006.
and like they were named in a list, but they weren't even investigated.
2006 when he was still in
16.
Oh,
16.
Jesus
That's what
I was literally
my
about
bad.
to say that.
in,
Joe. I was
hi- in
like,
high school.
I was about to say, what
him and Julius
prospects?
Peppers.
I literally thought that too.
He took him under the wing in high school, Julius.
Like 6 months before he goes to college. Just like,
next game we got
No way
Bengals
this guy's
at
playing.
Panthers. Panthers did Panthers things. Andy Dalton had a good game. Christian McCaffrey a $184 rushing. Jesus Christ.
I thought I had a good feeling he was gonna have a good year.
I was gonna say that's why I won in last
Yes, correct.
my other league.
Next game Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. Like, oh, we have a great defense. Okay, you need to score points still. Defense does not win games, folks. As we can see from the New Orleans at Atlanta game, where it's 43-37, like,
Crazy to think they have so much invested in their defense,
and nothing in their
and like
offense.
their offense is where they need it, but they let Allen Robinson
and Hearns.
just been tearing it up with the
Yeah.
like. Oh, but yeah, Bortles don't need help at all.
No, you know what it was? Yeah, I think it's because he was coming off an injury and
Oh, for
they
sure.
didn't want to risk it, and they thought to themselves, "We've seen it time and time again where a player doesn't come back off an injury the same way. Fuck him."
Well, like,
And
see,
it's like, fine, we'll take 'em.
The issue with the Jaguars is that their whole only question mark last year was like, I don't think Blake Bortles can do it. And so what do they do in the offseason when all these quarterbacks were available? They doubled down on Blake Bortles for no goddamn reason.
And got rid of all of his weapons.
Like Case Keenum would be doing better in Jacksonville with no weapons.
Dude,
Speaking
yeah.
of Case Keenum, Denver at Baltimore. Baltimore beat the Broncos 27-14.
Shouts out to Brian. I feel for you. Hey, Broncos are still 2-1. Don't feel bad.
Broncos are-
Secondly,
are the
thanks for
Broncos
bringing the
2-1?
honey for me.
Uh,
Thirdly, you guys are going to be doing just fine.
Denver's a bad team.
No, they're not.
They're a bad team. They played. They beat the Seahawks, and who the hell did they play last week? Or the week before. Like the Seahawks are a horrible team, and they lost to a bad Baltimore. Not a bad, average Baltimore. They beat the Raiders. Oh God.
Okay, that one's not that
And
impressive.
the Seahawks. Those are their 2 wins. The teams that don't win games.
It's true, but at
They're
the end of the
combined
day,
1-5.
they still have a decent defense.
Okay.
And
So do the Jaguars.
And I think with their weapons on offense and Case, like it's one of those things where it's like Case finds ways to win games. And like I will say they lost to the Ravens.
You can't say that. You can't take what he did last year as what he's going to do forever.
No.
You have to take their best year and their worst year and take them off their resume and then look at it. And if you do that with Case Keenum, dude is still not good. And that's why he's not a Viking. We could have signed we could have kept Case Keenum and then signed everyone on our team without an issue, and we're like, we can't because he's not good enough. So, and our defense is significantly better than what the Broncos have. So there's like, he isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do, you know.
True.
And if you don't like, and in my opinion, if you don't win the Super Bowl, you're a bad team. Like, that's the way I look at every year. If you don't win the Super Bowl, your year was a failure.
It's funny because my entire life I always thought that like the AFC and NFC held some sort. Yeah, I always thought it held some sort of like stipulation in my head, like how many championships we have. But at the end of the day, like
making it to the Super Bowl
it's like
cool,
you go back like a year. Okay, yeah, you can tell me you played in the championship. And you go back 2 years ago. Yeah, I think I might be able to tell you 3 or 5. I think it had to be Steelers Patriots, right? You know what I mean? You just start resorting to ones that you know for sure, where it's just like, yeah, I get it.
Well, and like that's the thing. Like, if my team doesn't win the Super Bowl, I'd rather them lose every game so we can get a good draft pick.
Right.
Otherwise, like, fuck drafting at number 24. Like, all the good players are gone. You know, like, so yeah, sure, like the Broncos are decent, you know, but decent isn't worth shit. Decent's worth a 2nd place or a 3rd place record in your division, you know, because the Chiefs are the best team in that by far. The Broncos still
got potential.
That's fair. We'll get into that next week, where we break down the power. We go back to the power ranking. New York at Houston. Yeah, Houston's a horrible team. It doesn't make any fucking. Deshaun had a nut day though, 400 yards, but their defense is trash, and their offensive line is trash. And that's all I really have to say about that game. Good job, Saquon Barkley and Eli. Good job for doing your thing. Finally. Los Angeles at Los Angeles. Look good. Chargers look average. The Rams. Talib and Marcus Peters isn't playing tomorrow. At least that's all I know. Yeah. But god damn it. And Jared Goff 350. Gurley over 100. Robert Woods over 100. Fuck. That's a good. Yeah, until he drops 350 on, which is what he just did.
I know. Even if he did though, still about that guy.
I feel like it's just uneducated.
No, because I've been watching him because the hype fucking happened.
He's the most underrated quarterback in football. Like, I think he's horrible, but he puts up numbers. Like, his numbers, he's like a top 12 quarterback.
It's just what I've been listening to.
I don't think he's even a top 20 quarterback, you know?
It's just, I've been hearing on a lot of shows and stuff, and I always hear, like, I wouldn't take him over, like, say, like a Jared Goff, but, and it's just like, that's the comparison you're going to use right now? Like,
I mean, it depends on who you're comparing. Like, if it's like Dak Prescott, like, I wouldn't take him over Jared Goff. Honestly, even like Cam Newton, I might want someone that can throw the ball a little bit better. And Jared Goff can do that, you know?
I guess that's
like,
kind of true.
Jared Goff's like, not like the super elusive, but like you give him.
I mean, like the Chargers have a good defense.
Exactly.
Like,
I feel
350s,
like
you can't do nothing to fucking thumb your
like
nose at, you know?
He
fits
time.
the system.
Exactly. Just give him the time. You can find the open man.
Yeah.
Next game, Chicago at Arizona. You guys got lucky.
No, and
You guys
this
got
is
lucky.
okay. Let me throw out one more statistic on that will actually have like Bear fans like. Hey, check this out. We continued our drive 2 out of the 3 times on a roughing the passer penalty, which was highly questionable. And those were crucial third downs, and a defensive offsides, which was also questionable. And that's what also led to our victory. And I was thinking about that before.
I mean, is it solid red now? Oh, don't hit the button.
I was just trying to, because it was falling down for some reason. All right, we're back, people. But yeah, so that to me was a very scary fact, and I was by it because like where we would be about to be out, and all of a sudden the flag would throw it and continue the drive, and I was like, don't need to be relying on
like,
that.
You don't get those in November.
That's
So,
exactly what I'm saying.
yeah.
When they let them play it out and stuff. Yeah, that's literally what
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking.
mean-
like, but let it ride. Of course, during the game, but let it ride.
Lucky. Dallas at Seattle. Jesus Christ. I mean, if I thought Seattle was bad, Dallas is worse. Oh my god. Well, I mean, dude, check it. So like, they could have traded for Earl Thomas, and they tried, and they got shot down. They wanted more. So then, what did Earl Thomas do? They went and picked him off twice.
Picked him off. Just that.
2 times.
Then did you see the bow he
Yes.
gave the sideline to? Beautiful.
I was actually shocked that he wasn't a Cowboy by spring. I thought they would have like just traded and then let him get on the bus.
Hey, just come on over here.
Yeah, just let him get on the plane to go back to Dallas.
Just hey Earl, just stay in town.
Next game, New England at Detroit. We covered that. Good job, Matt Stafford. Kerryon Johnson. Good job. 100 yards.
The first
in,
100
like, 7 years, I think.
Dude, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Pittsburgh at Tampa Bay. I mean, Fitzpatrick did not have a good first half, but Jesus Christ, his second half was magical. I mean, they lost by 3. It took the Steelers actually.
It was a good game too.
It was a really good game. Let's move on. Brandon, do you have any topics you want to talk about this week, man? Anything
Let's
great
reach
before we
the
jump
handy-
into the week 4?
You know, I was gonna bring up my Packers signed a starter for Washington Redskins for the longest time. He actually signed to the Panthers early in the offseason, 3 years, $24 million, but failed the physical because he had like a cut on his foot, apparently, something like that. We got him for the veteran minimum.
Well, that's fun.
Which, yes, please. And we put Devon House on the IR. Yes, please.
Goodbye, Devon. Wait, no, we can't take the top off anymore.
Exactly. No, you still got Bryce. You can take
Oh, yeah,
advantage
but-
of Bryce. Kentrell. Hey, just work on your coverage, Kentrell. Just a little bit.
Who's the King? King needs to get healthy.
Yeah, King needs to come back. We
Hey,
need him.
They need you bad.
King. Come back.
He'll massage your calf. You'll be fine. Oh God. You guys just want to jump right into week 4?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Before we jump in, shout out to Frank at the store. He got us belt for the podcast. So fucking
Thank you, Frankfurt and Sons.
So-
Frankfurt and Sons. I'll say it one more time. Frankfurt and Sons.
Frank and
Just
Pete.
instantly, I've actually.
All right,
lost
there we
all
go.
feet.
Okay, so I've decided for this belt, it will go to the person whose team is in first place that current week.
Oh my God.
I don't know how to get it to you without hitting the microphone, so heads up.
Catch. Good
It's
catch.
been so long.
First thing, Bears have won since '85.
You know, you try and you try. and you watch and you watch.
It's okay. There's a very, very good chance that belt will just be on the table next week. Because
right, and be in
Brandon and myself will be tied, and you will be in third place.
Right, yeah, I thought of that.
Or hell,
thought
maybe even fourth place,
Just
or
essentially-
tied for fourth, or tied for third, I guess. Fourth.
Essentially fourth.
All right, let's jump in. Week 4 tomorrow night, Vikings at Rams. I got the Vikings. I think it's gonna be a solid 27-18 victory.
Go somewhere in the same area. I like a 27-20.
Yeah,
You know, like I think a 1 touchdown lead, even like a touchdown and a field goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
No point to vary.
Perfect.
That's literally what I was thinking.
Because I think it's gonna have to be a little bit of a catch up on the Rams.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be 27-10, you know, and they're gonna have to like try and catch up.
Bengals at Falcons. Falcons 57. Bengals 2.
I also have the Falcons in this matchup.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have Andy Dalton taking a firm
Actually,
sleep on this.
One of my games of the week to watch, which is like if you would have told me like 4 weeks ago, hey, the Bengals are gonna be in one of your games to watch, I don't know what I would have done with. But hey, Andy Dalton doing good.
Next game we got Tampa at Chicago. This is for sure game of the week here.
Yes, definitely.
I
Yep.
got Tampa Bay 30, Bears 14.
I have the Bears winning, but I think this is going to be a really tight game because I can see either one where it's like a slip up here. Is Fitzpatrick pick 6? I think Bears could have it, but is Fitzpatrick going to light him up? Going with the Bears.
Do you think Fitzpatrick is going to throw the pick six?
I think he's going to
Something
get
that he
that.
hasn't done yet.
I think he's going to throw a deadly pick. That's going to be the downfall.
How dare you?
As much as
24
I love Fitzpatrick,
24-17 Bears winning. It's going to be a close one, but I think Truby Tuesday will carry the torch in the end of the game. I think he will for the first time for whatever reason. I don't know why.
If it
Week
comes down
4.
to Trubisky having to win the game for you, you're fucked.
No, and honestly, no.
That's
Me and
a
my dad
loss.
were arguing in this point last week, and it was the funniest thing ever because he's like, I want there to be enough time so that if the Cardinals score, Trubisky has time to remarch it back down. Like, nah. See, I think the opposite. I hope that we burn them out here on the time, and it all comes down to our defense. Because if I'm putting out our defense and our offense, I'll put on the defense every time.
But now you're flipping it where you think Trubisky's
Yeah.
going to be able to do it
So now
this week,
I think
where
this
you
week,
didn't think he could do it last week against a far worse team.
I think, and I don't know why I think this, but I think
don't know either. That's
defensively,
why I'm
I think
asking.
defensively overall, I actually think the Cardinals are like either just as good, if not slightly better, than the Buccaneers defense.
How dare you offend Geno Atkins like that?
I think this is the week is really are going to want a special team score or a defensive score. That's my opinion.
yeah,
like if you
and-
guys get one or even both, I think you guys have
And I
that
think this
game.
might be where your thoughts of the saucy Fitzpatrick pick comes in. That could be a 6.
But
but
if he plays a clean game and that doesn't happen, it's like
Well, that's the thing,
it's
like,
not
I
looking good
can-
for
But you're
Bears.
talking about a clean game against one of the best defenses in football.
But one of the worst secondaries in football.
One of the-
That's the thing.
Not a great secondary, but
And the Bucks have a good line.
they
They
have-
have a
yeah.
decent line.
And
They've showed
not
up
one
the last
not
games.
one person on your team can cover Mike Evans, and not one person on your team can cover Deshaun Jackson, and both of them will be on the field every play, and that's the problem.
It's true, but I think after a very short period of time, it becomes for Fitzpatrick 1,000. 2, you better have that ball out of your hands because somebody's going to be there. I think no matter how well your offensive line is, I think there's just too much attack. Because
I mean, the Packers showed for
Exactly, like
you have a
the same-
decent line that can win the one-on-one.
in
Because
the most important quarters, in
Yeah.
the third and fourth quarter, your defensive line did nothing against Aaron Rodgers, who couldn't move.
And honestly, and in reality, like I actually thought that was going to happen last week against the Cardinals, where I was like, because we did terrible right away to start, but then our defense really turned it on high gear. But I was like, uh-oh, second half's coming. Here we go. And what's going to happen? And then they actually showed up. And I
Well,
was
that's
like,
the thing, though.
okay.
You guys have not played a full game. Like, you
No.
haven't played a good 4 quarters.
And no,
I
and
don't-
honestly,
I don't
this
think you
this
will.
this is where we differ, because in my head, this is where Trubisky picks up the slack, and now our team is coming full circle.
To me, it just doesn't make sense. I'm like, if you didn't have faith in Trubisky last week against a worse team, why
No,
do you
I
have
did.
faith
I
in
did
him
to
now?
start. I did to start just when the game actually was proceeding. the
When you
first
saw him throw a
10 minutes.
pass, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, or and fumble the ball on his like second possession or something like that, where it was like, and he could have fallen on the ball, but he tried to do the pickup, and it was like, football, 5th grade 101, follow the goddamn football. Just every time, just follow the goddamn football. It's true. It's true.
Buccaneers win. It won't be close unless there's a
That
special
pick,
teams
man.
or a defensive
I
touchdown.
think this is that game where it's like
It comes down
that
to the
defensive,
nitty-gritty.
that defense or special team score, whatever team gets it. If one team gets it, they win.
Honestly, I see Trubisky throwing more picks than Fitzpatrick that game.
And I won't even argue with that fact. I could actually see that, but I don't think that takes away from the fact that our defense is.
I feel like you underestimate how good, like, what a good offensive line can do, because the Bears defense did 0 things against the Packers, who have a worse offensive line than what the Buccaneers have.
No, but
Or
see
as
that
good.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
okay.
I'd
But
put 'em
I'm
in like
chalking
the
that
same.
up.
Yeah.
I'm chalking that up to week 1 like hype, because it's like in that first half,
But
Aaron Rodgers goes down. We get
last week. You guys didn't start off good.
we didn't, but then we notched down, and it looked amazing
In the second half.
inside the first. No, inside the first quarter. See, this is what everyone keeps taking a dump on me for.
One series doesn't mean that you had a successful quarter or a successful half. Like, it just because they got
Holding-
they got
and
how many
I-
sacks
I go-
did you guys have that week?
I have no idea, but I'm going back to the point of, I don't care if a team scores 2 touchdowns on us in the first 10 minutes or in the first quarter. If we hold them to 0 points for the rest of the game, we're winning the football game at the end of the day. 14 points. Give any team 14 points in the league. I don't care if Trubisky is not that great of a quarterback. He's getting 14 points or more in a game, and we're winning. Like, he proved that against the Cardinals. 16 points. And one of those was a missed field goal, so I guess at the end of the
Well, I
day,
mean,
you
but
could say
Trubisky
19.
had 0 touchdowns.
Right. But I still think he'll put us in the position to get more points.
Your
than that.
offense only scored 1 touchdown.
We had the
So Trubisky only scored 7 points.
right.
Or like, and technically Howard scored 7 points. So Trubisky was good enough to get a touchdown.
And a handful of field goals. Yeah.
Yeah, but field goals don't, like, you can't rely on them every week.
No, we can't. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like when it came down to the Cardinals.
So to
did.
put it in perspective, I'm looking at the stats right now for last week. Sam Bradford scored 2 touchdowns on you, and was sacked 3 times and threw 2 picks. When Rosen came in at halftime, I believe, or no, just the last.
No,
the last
yeah,
that
he
was like
came
the
in
last like
literally
5
the
minutes.
last
yeah.
5 minutes. You're right. Yeah, he was sacked once, and that
But he also threw 2 interceptions.
one interception.
Basically 2. One was flagged, but it was a terrible interception nonetheless.
Yeah,
In fact, that one was 10 times worse than the first interception. In fact,
I
I'm
mean,
watching
but,
that.
but like if it's a flag, it's not a pick.
But it was, and it was a terrible throw.
Okay, but I mean, it isn't a pick. That's the
No,
whole
no,
thing.
you're right. It isn't a pick, but it was nearly as good of a pick, as good as a pick.
What was the flag?
All sides on the defense.
Well,
But
I mean-
since it was a pick 6 nonetheless.
But I mean, Rogers threw a pick
I was
on an
gonna-
offside play.
yeah,
against
and
the
I was
Vikings.
gonna say,
honestly,
that's
I already
why I
already
asked-
prepared.
that's
I
why
already
I asked
prepared
the
for this
flag.
argument, and I will say this: it was like an 11-yard pass. Not I'm gonna nuke it downfield, hope, because worst case comes to worst, it's an interception. It's gonna get called back. No. This was not even at the before the first down throw. Pick 6.
I would
like,
I
take that away.
I would assume that he was
Take that
probably.
away.
I haven't seen the play recently.
Yeah.
I would assume that was the deepest man that they had on that play. I would assume that no one else was deeper than the 11-yard guy.
No, in fact, I'm pretty sure it was the exact opposite. I'm pretty sure everyone else went deep, and he was stop and go and like cut back short.
I would just chalk that up to being. If you
No,
see-
yeah,
if
and
you see-
but honestly,
if you
but
see
think
someone
about that.
jump
Take
off
that.
si- No, but if you see someone jump off sides, You don't like
No,
every
but-
quarterback
and
will
I'm-
say we don't give a shit. Like that, Rodgers throws almost every offsides play. Rodgers throws a pick or a touchdown. It's one or the other.
I know, but so your first series pick, second series almost pick, don't care, and it's like
Someone just follow. Yeah,
A
right.
little bit.
Hello, thank you for the
It almost
follow.
scared me. Thank you. Just-
yeah, so I mean, seeing that guy and all the hype behind him, and seeing like pick on his first possession, you know, and not really being super productive, and then like basically throwing a pick six, like that was not concerning in the least. In fact, he played for like 2 minutes of football time and basically had 2 interceptions. So yeah, not very good.
But like, this is where we will differ. Like, it was one pick. Rodgers throws picks on offsides plays. Like but we don't say, oh, he threw a pick.
Okay, so an interception in 2 minutes of football, terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Rookie.
Like-
first, it was the first series ever.
And, yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying though. I mean, Baker Mayfield had nowhere near that.
Baker threw a pick.
Not right away though.
Yeah, but I mean, him and Rosen had the same number of picks.
Yeah, but Baker Mayfield actually had
And I
something
think
to show
Baker had the
for it.
same thing where he threw another pick that
I have no horse in this fight, but I will say I'll take the difference of I'll face the Jets defense over the Bears defense any day. Like if I had to go in 5 minutes left against the Bears defense or the Jets defense, I'm gonna be like, I'll take the Jets defense.
Thank you.
I mean, hey, but if
So, like-
to put this in perspective for you, the QBR rating thing, which measures quarterbacks on everything, Trubisky beat Sam Bradford, who turned the ball over 4 times
Okay, yeah, you're right.
by 3 points. I mean,
That's why I fucking hate QBR.
it takes into everything because
Mhm.
you know Trubisky was sacked 3 times, and
Takes into like the amount of yards per throw. I remember there was one week where Rodgers had like 5 touchdowns, but his QBR wasn't good because it was like pass and like the wide receiver. I hate that. 'Cause-
Yeah, I was
and-
gonna say yeah.
and
QBR is
Skip-
so funny.
and Skip Bayless loves that.
I was about to
stat.
say, and the QBR of 1,087. I mean, it's unheard of.
Like I'm a fan of the
his rating was 73.5, where Sam Bradford's rating was 89. So which one are you a fan of? The one that has Bradford better, or the one that has Bradford worse?
Go for the one that had Bradford worst time.
So
Reason
QB
being,
so QBR.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Bayless here on the QBR. No, and honestly, it's one of those things though where it's like, you know, I'll take the quarterback that goes 3 touchdowns and has 2 picks over the quarterback that has 0 touchdowns and 0. Yeah, that guy's safe, but at the end of the day, like, no, like this has been a concern for me. I've been thinking about Trubisky. My dad said
I'm
this
just trying to understand why you even have hope.
because like it's one
Like,
of
he's proven nothing this season so far that you should rely on him.
Man's trying to rip your soul.
He
out
hasn't-
about
he
it.
hasn't, but
Doesn't
no-
make sense.
there's
I'm just trying
something-
to comprehend why.
there's something that hasn't fully clicked, and I feel like it's not Trubisky's like overall quarterbacking because like I see him when like he evades and when he decides to run with the football. I see some of his passes in the game, and I'm like, there it is. I see the glimpses of it where it's like it's almost like the Cutler thing, where it's like you see the amazing Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady type rollout-esque dart across his body halfway down the field, and you're like,
I
whoa.
can say confidently right now that you would rather have Cutler as quarterback right now.
I could say confidently right now. Why would you even bring that up?
Because Cutler, maybe not currently,
Yeah,
because
because of what I just said.
I was gonna say because you yourself
I
just said
literally
you'd take
just
the
said it.
dude over
I
like the
just
3
said it. Yeah,
the 3
I'll take
and
the guy
2.
who gets 3 touchdowns and 2 picks over the guy that gets
so
0.
Jay Cutler, his
In
whole
So I'll
Jared
take Jared
Jay.
Cutler. Yeah, and I even said that before, like early on the podcast too, where I was like, I'll take a Fitzpatrick or anyone like
veteran.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
any veteran that like has an inkling of like, oh yeah, I'll make like one better decision because I've been around the ropes a couple thousand times. Like that equates to one more field goal, one more. Anyways, moving on.
I forgot who we were even talking about in the beginning.
Detroit at Dallas next game. Detroit wins.
Yep.
30-0. Like,
I just
Hey,
Oh,
Imperial Fleet, get ready to suck some Dak.
Sean Lee's out again. So
yeah, 30 to 10. I'll go
Like,
30 to
yeah.
10. I'll give him 10 points because Zeke.
oh, I didn't even know this was a game. Buffalo at Green Bay.
Yeah, yeah.
Get ready to get hurtled by Josh Allen, motherfuckers. Okay, now if they go out and beat the Packers,
Dude, I
We're-
lose.
we have to open our eye that what's happening.
I'm gonna have to apologize to myself for calling the Packers an improved football team last week. Hey, pass Brandon. I'm sorry. Just, if we lose to the Bills at Lambeau, I need to rethink my life. I might not be on this podcast anymore.
Hot take: I'm taking the Bills in this game,
I
folks.
mean, I could see it.
I feel like they're gonna ride that wave.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, if the Bills win, like, I will start cheering for the Bills, because like that would actually be like somewhat iconic for like me to think about, like the Bills just going in, because they're going into Lambeau, right? Yeah, like to go
that's
into
Josh
Josh
Allen's
Lambeau.
second fucking start.
Yeah,
right.
second week
Going
starting in a
into the
very hard
frozen
environment.
tundra.
Yeah, and
Taking on the best quarterback
ever
ever
play the
to ever
game.
throw a ball
No, that'd be
and
crazy.
outshine him
yeah,
on
it would
his
be nuts.
own
You know,
turf.
like they would go up a huge notch in my book. However, bring it back. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I see the game going like this: 33-20, Packers winning.
Historically, we come back after
You
these
don't lose
goose
two games
eggs.
I was thinking about that too. Yeah,
And
historically, you come back
especially
after
if
bad
it's
wins.
at Lambeau,
Let's go Bills.
I mean, and I could still see us losing this. That's
We got Philadelphia at Tennessee next. Yeah. Okay. Houston at Indianapolis. I got Indy. Houston's a bad.
who did I pick on this one? This was one I was going back and forth.
That one,
on.
I was gonna say that one's a toss up. I couldn't even tell
I
you.
have
It's
the
gonna be
Colts.
high. It's gonna be high scoring.
I have the
as fuck.
Colts.
It's gonna be
I really wanted to take
Like
the
20, like
Texans, but
23-35, either or winning.
Fucking 40-40. Like Jesus. Miami at New England. Let's go Dolphins, dude. Let's go Dolphins.
Yeah, honestly,
Patriots
Yeah,
are
I have the
faltering.
Dolphins.
it's weird. It's weird because like I always think about like the Patriots versus the Dolphins, and it's like if I had to put all my money on it, I would still at the end of the day go with the Patriots. But I will say that this is the first time ever that I'm feeling like the Dolphins.
Fun fact: told Brandon this earlier. Probably wouldn't know this, but in Ryan Tannehill's last 11 starts, he's 10-1. Yeah. So, I mean, you get as Colin Cowherd
Well-
says, you give a quarterback an offensive-minded head coach, and see what they fucking do, and that's what Jared Goff has. Tannehill has. That's what fucking
Mahomes
Mayfield
has.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Mahomes has one of the greatest quarterback whispers.
The wall.
That's like the greatest like.
New York Jets at Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean,
Guys, and throw it right to Kelsey if anything goes.
Jags. I feel like Jags win this game.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jags.
Let's see what Darnold does. But
I mean, yeah.
but Jags are gonna win this. Darnold's gonna throw 5 picks.
Say yeah, they've got that veteran defense. That Rook. I love Darnold, but they're not gonna let that Rook do
That's
anything.
literally exactly what I was thinking. Like they're just not.
Cleveland at Oakland. Let's go Browns.
I think this is the fastest I've ever said Cleveland like ever.
Yeah.
From
You know
the
what?
land
Yeah.
till I die. Woo! Yeah.
There'll be 2 1-1-1, 1-1-1-1.
Raiders suck. Dick and balls. Seattle at Arizona. The who cares game.
The Seahawks barely game.
Josh Rosen's gonna light them on fire.
I have the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Cardinals
Really?
actually.
You know what? I'm gonna flip the script. I'm gonna say the Seahawks, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna fucking pick apart that fucking Eli Manning looking Birdman.
Did see that Doug Baldwin comes back this week.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Patrick
a decent
Patrick
little
Peterson.
injection. But yeah, I still have the Cardinals too. But can we talk about how Josh Rogan is like a perfect infused?
Fly and like.
And who's the big bird that the
Mike
Bears had?
Lennon?
Mike Lennon. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
fused together.
No, literally, I thought that exact same thing when I saw him walk on the field. I was like, he's like, and I literally was depicting it too. I was like, or like Nick Foles mixed with
Yeah,
like
yep.
literally the exact, and that's because Nick Foles and Mike Lennon.
Yeah,
They're
gaggly.
they're both Napoleon Dynamite. Go people go Google Nick Foles and go Google Mike Lennon and then compare them both to like Napoleon Dynamite. You'll be like, wow, that's nearly.
Saints at Giants.
I'm gonna go with the
Saints.
Let's go, G-men. I gotta be different.
Is it at the Saints?
At New York.
That's different.
Meadowlands.
I'm gonna take grinding it out.
They have a bad defense.
The defense though, like what?
They have a bad defense.
Like they don't though. Like they proved it last year
No,
that they
last
don't,
year was
and
an
it's like
aberration,
nothing
bro.
happened. But
Last year was an aberration.
apparently,
They missed the tackle against
They-
the Vikings, and that was the end of their
dude,
defense.
that was just done.
San Fran at Chargers. Chargers by a lot.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe,
Chargers.
maybe he'll come back next year and be good.
It's
No.
like it's extra sad to me because it's one of those plays where he didn't need to. Like
Just run out of bounds.
you just go out of bounds right there and you don't miss the entire year. Like I understand
You
trying to
don't-
get
you don't
those
prob-
extra
you don't
yards, but
arguably ruin your whole career.
yeah, but like okay, guess what a quarterback doesn't do? Cut to the middle of the field.
And a few of them do.
No, that's not
Yeah.
my
But those are the ones that aren't in the league long.
Exactly.
Mike Vick,
RG3. Yep.
Pat White,
Cam Newton's the only
Cam
one that can pull that
Newtown,
off
yeah.
now, and that's because he's bigger than a middle
he's
linebacker.
Gigante.
Yeah, he literally is a different type of human. He is the Na'vi from Pandora Avatar status, and that is why he is what he is.
Sunday night, we got Joe Fluco going to Ben Roethlisberger's house.
We'll take Flacco.
Taking Ravens.
Yeah, I'm also taking the Ravens. Fuck you,
Ravens,
Pittsburgh. Hey, all Pittsburgh
32
fans,
to 20 ish.
fuck you. Hello in chat. I just see people saying hi.
just
Hi.
hey Steelers, fuck you. Hey, how's it going?
If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Monday Night Football, Kansas City at Denver. Patty Mahomes.
I have to take Denver. Just kidding, Kansas City.
Based on where the moon's going to be that evening.
Based on the alignment and Von Miller's Instagram activity.
Yeah. Patty Mahomes going to light Mile High on fire.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Patty,
Sorry.
dude.
Sorry, Brian. It's over. Like, well, I mean, for that game.
No, over. Over already. Goodbye forever.
It's close to being done.
It's funny because they're 2-1. We got to take a look at the standings here. One final thing.
Yeah, what are there's 3 undefeated teams. It's the Dolphins. Is it
the
Kansas
Chiefs,
City? And who owns?
The Rams are the only 3 undefeateds currently. Well, we already know the Rams are not going to be undefeated come tomorrow night. And the Dolphins, good chance
Dude,
they
if the
probably
Dolphins make it.
Dude, the Dolphins have a 2-game lead in their division. Apparently, everyone in their division is 1 and 2. Gee, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? What's your bold prediction for this week, Brandon?
No, hey, leading from the Dolphins, my bold prediction,
What is it?
Le'Veon Bell to Dolphins.
This year?
I don't think it's needed for the Dolphins.
Not the Jets?
I think that's really logical, and I don't think that fits into my bold prediction.
That's not bold.
That's not bold at all. But I think the Dolphins have been kind of steering away from like making big kind of splashy acquisitions. Like last one was like Sue. Definitely kind of regretted that one. But like they don't really need Le'Veon. They have Kenyon Drake. He's doing pretty good. But imagine if they had Le'Veon and Tannehill doing good right now. That'd almost be a little scary. That's going to be my bold prediction for the week. Le'Veon, next couple weeks. Well, I think the next couple weeks he's traded for sure. I don't think that's bold.
No.
Bold, though, going to the Dolphins.
Sadly, my bold prediction isn't one that I wanted to have, and it's like one that isn't isn't.
If it's the Bears lose this weekend, I'm fucking fighting you. Because we argued for 20 minutes about this shit.
It is that. No.
Hey, what can we switch the stream name to Fight?
Bro, we get the boxing glove.
Yeah.
Oh,
You look heartbroken over here. What's wrong, buddy?
Who's gonna tear their ACL this week?
no one's gonna tear their ACL. And it's like I don't want to believe it, but for some reason I'm thinking the Browns with.
How dare you take my bold prediction? I literally just pulled up the Browns schedule because my bold prediction is they're winning out, motherfuckers.
Like I watched Baker Mayfield play. I watched him do more things than I've seen Trubisky do in a year and 4 weeks or 3 weeks. My bad. And I've been latching on to one key thing that one guy on the internet said, one sports announcer. And he's like, I did not see Baker Mayfield take one bad snap. And I was like, thinking about last game with Trubisky, and I was like, I can think of at least 7 off the top of my head. Where I was like,
where it's just all on Truby.
What is happening? Yeah, exactly. Just what is happening?
No, honestly, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play 2 tough games the rest of the year. Because I don't count the Steelers as a tough game anymore. I don't count anyone in their division as a tough game.
But
they play Kansas City at home, and the following week they play Atlanta at home. And I feel like those are the only 2 tough games that they have.
And it's crazy because if there's a defense that can match up with those 2 offensive powerhouses right now, it might be the Browns defense.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Browns, I have a pretty good feeling that they'll beat the Falcons at least.
Yeah. I could see them.
And you guys laughed at me when I said they were going to the Super Bowl this year.
No, and honestly, like literally
I said
watching
they were going to go undefeated, but if they started Baker Mayfield, they would be undefeated right now. Drop the mic.
Yeah, I honestly
after
after seeing this man literally in one half of football,
revitalize a whole city.
Yeah,
a whole
get them
state.
free beer.
Hey, when the Browns win,
hashtag unlock the coolers.
Fans win. Okay, so I'm gonna change my bold prediction quick. My bold prediction is that a star player is gonna tear their ACL this week.
Did I have a bad feeling too? I was honestly thinking about that being my bold prediction too. Some sort of Oh, I can't do an injury.
Todd Gurley goes out against the Vikings.
A number 1 player will fall.
goes out against the
Rams.
No. I was gonna say, yeah,
takes over.
That moment you realize that Simeons are back up.
Oh, you didn't know?
I knew I just haven't thought about it in weeks.
Where's Christian Ponder at?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't even think he's in the CFL.
I don't think so
I think he's
either.
just sitting back having a hot wife. Hey, congrats, bro.
Just like selling cars on the internet.
I feel like he's not working. He might be
Fucking
like
his hot
coaching like high school or something.
Right? Like every quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Ever played football.
He's a gym teacher or some shit
Yeah,
now.
exactly,
A lawyer,
literally.
whatever the fuck he went to school for. Probably fucking something physio because that's all quarterback. Like Baker maybe like, what would you do if you didn't fucking be an NFL quarterback? Went to school to be a gym teacher. So yeah, couldn't have guessed.
It's funny because he totally looks
He does.
like the cool gym teacher.
He looks like the guy that hits on all the 17-year-old girls.
So
That
our
one
gym
gym-
teacher.
My English teacher. We uncensored out here, folks. Ooh, I'll click on this real quick. Power rankings. The week 4 power rankings. They got the Rams, Chiefs, Eagles, Jags, Saints, Patriots, Steelers. Give me Steelers. What in the fuck? Dolphins at 8, Vikings 9, Packers 10, Panthers 11, 12, Falcons 13, Buccaneers 14. Where are the Bears? We don't. Broncos 17.
What the fuck?
Bears 18.
What the fuck? I know our offense isn't good, but 18 with that defense and the fact that we're 2-1.
Okay.
Fuck right off and all.
So it also lists the team's biggest weakness. So while the Bears rank second in plays per drive at 6.2, They're 29th in touchdowns per drive at 12.5%. Part of the reason they rank 27th in red zone efficiency touchdowns.
It's and I said this last game, the Cardinals. Trubisky literally gets to like the 35-yard line and fucking freezes, where it's like, and the worst part is half the time that wasn't in field goal range. It was. That's what I'm saying.
Packers' biggest weakness. Aaron Rodgers isn't 100%, and it shows with his 3 of 10 passing performance outside of the pocket Sunday. He's completing 33%, 6 of 18 of his passes outside the pocket this season, down from 45% over the previous 5 seasons combined.
Well, that's why that was like the one thing where it's like, no, Aaron definitely doesn't look like Aaron because almost half of every play.
Yeah.
Vikings' biggest weakness. Vikings ran the ball 6 times Sunday, tied for the fewest rushing attempts by any team in a game in NFL history. Dalvin Cook was inactive and has just 78 yards on 26 rushes this season, 3 yards per rush. Yeah, our passing attack is 4th in the NFL. Our rushing attack's 30th. So
you gotta have the swing.
Kirk's been airing it out, bro. Any questions in chat? Anyone want to talk to us? Let us know your thoughts. Are you a dumb Raiders fan? Are you a salty Broncos fan? Are you a delusional Bears fan, perhaps? Or are you a level-headed Viking Packer fan?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? We're winning the Super Bowl.
Fuck yeah.
It's just so funny because, like, thinking about how good the Bears are doing right now.
And it's just all wasted.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, thinking about how at the end of the season, I'm like, yeah, I do see the Vikings and the Packers. Fuck, even the Lions nearly at this point.
Well, like, that's the problem with the NFC. It's like, if you don't win the division, good chance you're not making the playoffs. Like,
well, not only that, but it's just like, to me, I don't know what it is, but I feel like the stipulation is so huge. Like week 4, 5, and 6. Like my dad, and this is something I was trying to. My dad was like, week 7 is when I final fucking say on Trubisky. If I fucking love him or if I fucking hate him. And I was like, fair enough. Halfway through the season, basically, like I could see that.
You got 3 weeks.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe it does exactly what I was saying, where we get a decent win over Buccaneers, and then hopefully from there, things might turn up.
You guys are gonna lose the next 4 games until week 7, and then you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Trubisky literally just needs to take a fucking Xanax before, or at halftime even.
Remember the game where the Vikings were playing the Bears, and the whole time just like we just need the Cutler turnover and we win, and we look at Cutler on the side and he just grinded his teeth and moved it to, like, he's on something.
Yeah.
He never played that good before in his whole career. And every time you look at him, you just see it. Like, what? Oh, what the fuck?
Speaking of Cutler, did you see Josh Rosen have the greatest Cutler shoulder shrug ever in that game? I nearly lost my shit,
my God,
dude.
Please, for the folks at home, because I've been watching it nearly my whole life. You see that right there? I know it was hard to see. Check it out one more time.
That's the Cutler shoulder shrug when he knows shit just got real.
The shoulder shrug and the neck snap.
And he was like perfect to the T. It looked like Jay Cutler was out there for a second. It was like, oh man.
You just hit him with the. It was like, oh, it's on.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those ticks. People have it like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't describe it. It was like in track. Whenever I felt somebody was watching me, for some reason, I always had this nervous tick to like reach up and grab my back right ankle for a few seconds, and reach up and grab my back. Like I'm stretching right now. No, like literally. But like when I felt people were watching me, I would literally do that, and I'd be like, for some reason, I'm not doing anything right now, so I feel like I'm just gonna stretch for no reason whatsoever. And that's like literally what it is. Like Cutler feels like people are watching him.
All right. I feel like this podcast isn't going to be any more productive after everything. I'm Dan. That's Calvin. That's Brandon.
The Bears.
We'll see you next week. Follow us on Twitch. The House Divided. YouTube, iTunes. I'll probably put it up on Spotify this week. Podbean. The champ is here.
Frankfurt and Sons.
For one more week, and then he'll never touch the belt the rest of the year. Goodbye.